Hello everyone, happy Valentine's Day. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a movie review. So it is Valentine's Day and I am alone. So I had nothing better to do than to watch a horror movie, naturally. So today's movie is My Bloody Valentine from 1981. This is not a part of the 100 horror movies list. This is something new that we're starting, which is holiday horror movies. So I've collected a list, and if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts, hear your suggestions, and I will work on it. I will take them into consideration and probably do a review on them. So yes, this movie today is My Bloody Valentine. So the basic spoiler-free story is that a minor wronged 20 years before this movie takes place comes back for revenge on Valentine's Day. So yeah, that's just the basic spoiler-free synopsis. I will be getting into spoilers, so consider this your spoiler warning. Cool. The full story, so it is set in the mining town of Valentine Bluffs, and they are celebrating Valentine's Day for the first time in 20 years. And so the main focus, or the main character focus, is on a group of young miners, M-I-N-E-R-S, a group of miners that are celebrating Valentine's Day, so they're putting on a Valentine's Day dance. And it's the first time in 20 years because 20 years ago there was this group of miners that was trapped down in the mine because the methane gas level was too much, and so the mine exploded and caused a collapse, and so everyone was trapped down there. And this only happened because the supervisors weren't paying attention, and they decided to go to the Valentine's Day dance that was happening elsewhere in town and leave the group of miners unattended. So a rescue party goes down into the collapsed mine to find any survivors, and there is one survivor whose name is Harry Warden. And he's gone crazy because it was 6 weeks later that the rescue team came down to look for them, so he ate the rest of the mining group. So he went crazy and was instituted into a mental facility. But then the next year, he came back to the town and killed the two supervisors who were neglectful. And I'm pretty sure he was taken away, like arrested, and locked up for good. Back to the present day of the movie. So it's this mining group that's throwing a Valentine's Day dance for the first time in 20 years, and then the police chief gets a package with a heart in it, like an actual human heart. And so he's freaking out, like, no, this can't be happening again, because he was there when Harry Warden first attacked and killed the supervisors. And so he remembers all of it. And so he's like, no, this can't be happening again. And so he's talking to the mayor about it, and they're like, maybe we should cancel the Valentine's Day dance just so this doesn't happen again. But they don't, they keep it going. And then the official organizer for the Valentine's Day dance gets killed. And so they're like, okay, no, we have to shut this down. So they tell the mining group and their girlfriends, hey, no Valentine's Day dance, no Valentine's parties or anything, just don't celebrate Valentine's Day. And so the mining group is like, oh man. And so privately, they're talking about, okay, let's throw a Valentine's Day dance, but don't tell anyone, Don't tell anyone outside this little group. So, throughout this entire movie, there is a love triangle between a girl, Sarah, and then two guys, Axel and TJ. So the whole lore behind that is Sarah and TJ were together, but then TJ left to go find better mining business. And so then Sarah got together with Axel, and then TJ came back and saw that Sarah had moved on and is upset about it. So that's just a running theme throughout the whole movie. So Valentine's Day comes, the Valentine's party comes, and people start getting killed. Or, well, people have been getting killed throughout the couple days leading up to Valentine's Day. But at the Valentine's Day party, people are getting killed, and so they're freaking out. And then a group, just a small group within the mining group, goes down into the mines with their girlfriends. And then up on the surface, everyone's like, okay, so people are dying, we gotta go.
White folks are dead, we get the f*** out of here!
So most of them leave except for Axel and TJ, because Sarah is in the mines. She's one of the ones in the mines. And so they're like, okay, we have to go down and help them. And so they band together and go down to save them. They go down into the mine, they find the group, except a guy and a girl in the group went off to have sex, but then Harry Warden killed them. And then the group gets picked off one by one. So after the two get killed, then one goes off to look for the two and gets killed. And then the remaining three, after TJ and Axel find them, try to escape, but then one of them runs off and then gets killed. And so they're escaping, but then the dead friend falls from up high. And then Axel dies, and so it's two girls and TJ, Sarah and her friend Patty and TJ. And so they're trying to escape. And then TJ goes to look ahead just a little bit, and then they hear a crash, so they assume he's dead. So then it's Sarah and Patty, and so they're sneaking around, trying not to make too much noise so that Harry Warden can't find them. And then he does find them, kills Patty, so then it's just Sarah. And then TJ comes back, and he's like, no, it's fine, he just hit me, I'm not dead, it's okay, let's try to get out of here. And then they're trying to escape, and then Harry Warden finds them. Then there's this little chase scene. They try to go up using the rail cars, but he follows them, and so they're fighting on the rail cars. They go into an area that says danger, keep out, and so they run in there, and then Harry Warden follows them. And then there's this big confrontation at the end where Sarah pulls off Harry Warden's gas mask because he's wearing the gas mask this entire time. And it turns out it's actually Axel. He didn't die. He was actually the son of one of the supervisors that Harry Warden had killed 20 years ago. And he watched Harry Warden kill his dad, and so he's sort of dressing up in this persona. They cause a collapse, so Sarah and TJ get out, and Axel gets crushed in a mine collapse, and then the police chief and a bunch of the town comes in to save them, and they're digging away at the rubble, and they see that Axel is still alive. And so Sarah's like, no, I have to see Axel. I have to talk to him at least just a little bit. And so she runs back in, sees him, his hand is sticking out, or his arm is sticking out, and so she is like, Axel, I'm so sorry, what, I don't remember exactly what she said, but it's sort of along those lines. And so she touches his arm, and he grabs her arm, and then he saws off his arm, just below the elbow. And so she's pulling away and then pulls his arm out. And then the very end of the movie is him running off into the mines and saying, essentially, I'll be back. Harry Warden's legacy will not rest. And that's the end of the movie. So, I took just a couple of notes, just a couple things I found interesting. So, the way that the mining group found out about Harry Warden was from the bartender at the local bar that they go to. And so he told them the story, and then he was there when they were talking about throwing a party, and he was like, "Nuh-uh, you better not throw that party." And TJ's like, "Hey man, we're gonna throw a party, don't tell anyone." He's like, "Okay, don't say I didn't warn you." So he goes to the mining area up top, and because that's where they're gonna throw the party. And so he sets up a prank for them, where he sets up this mining suit and this pickaxe behind the door, and then, like, it's supposed to be like when you open the door, then the pickaxe comes up and, like, scares you. And so he was like, "Ha, nice, this works so well." And so, in his mind, because, like, he set it up and then opened it once to test it, and then he was like, "That's so nice, I'm gonna do it twice." And so he opened it up again, and it popped up, and he was like, "Hey!" And then he closed the door, and he was like, "That's so nice, I'm gonna do it thrice." And so he opened the door, and it pops up, and he's like, "Hey!" And then he closes the door again, and he's like, "That's so nice, I'm gonna do it twice." So he opens it up again, and it's actually Harry Warden, or Axel, I guess, and he throws the pickaxe up into him, through his chin, pops out his eye, and then drags him along. Another thing is something I noticed at the very beginning, because on a poster for the Valentine's Day dance, it said Saturday, February 14th, which is today, like this year, 2026. February 14th is Saturday, the day I'm making this video. I just think it's really fun. So yeah, and then the last thing, so in my previous videos I've been talking about this metal band, Ice Nine Kills, and they make metal music based off of horror movies. So they have one for My Bloody Valentine. It's called Take Your Pick, featuring Corpsegrinder. The link for it will be in the description. Just get into the content warnings real quick. So the very opening scene is two people in the mines, and then they're both wearing suits and gas masks, but then one of them takes off their gas mask, it's a woman, and then she takes off her suit and she's just in her underwear, and she's sort of like seducing this other miner. He's like, no, and then, she tries to take off his gas mask and he's like, no. And so she's seducing him, and then he takes a pickaxe and kills her with it. So yeah, and then in the bar there are some pinups of fully nude women, but they're pretty easy to miss. And then there are just other sexual references throughout. So there's like making out with the intent of sex, and just like other like dialogue mentioning it. The language is pretty moderate, like a low moderate, only 5 F words, and then other milder language sprinkled throughout. The violence on the, so my editor has been putting in this gore line where it's Halloween on the low end and then Evil Dead on the high end. So I would put this at like a 60%. I wouldn't recommend this as someone's first horror movie, just because it is pretty violent. So I would suggest starting with something a little bit easier, a little bit milder. So yeah, like I mentioned in my last couple of videos, Jaws would be a good one to start with, Night of the Living Dead would be a good one to start with, but I don't think this movie would be a super good one to start with. So as far as my placement of this movie, so I'm going to be starting a new list, which is the holiday movie list. So since it's the first one that I'm scoring, it's currently number 1. But overall, in my overall horror movies list, which I'm going to keep track of personally, but I won't be putting it like in the description or anything because there's only so much you can put in the description. So I would say currently, this is, for me, as far as like rewatchability goes, I would say this is between The Thing and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is currently number 5 for me. So yeah, since this is a new thing, like, it's not on the scratch-off poster, so there's no scratch-off portion, so this is the whole video. Thank you for watching. Again, if you have any holiday movie or holiday horror movie suggestions, or just any horror movie suggestions in general that you want me to review, put them in the comments. I would love to see them. And yeah, thanks for watching.